Plaintiff Antoinette Ferguson says 6 weeks after she and the defendant first had sex, she discovered she was pregnant. But she admits that she's not sure if he or another man is the father. Antoinette says she is finally ready to learn the truth, and she's suing the defendant for the cost of a car. Defendant Hillman Carr says even though he knew he may not be the father of Antoinette's daughter, he stepped up and has raised her as his own. Hillman did petition the court for a paternity test because he wants some closure on this issue, and he's countersuing for an iPhone.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing your ex-boyfriend $5,000 for the cost of a car?
Yes.
You're countersuing for $160 for an iPhone, and you've petitioned for a paternity test?
That is correct, sir.
Start with you.
Alrighty, Your Honor. 2011, I had moved to Elgin, where I had ended up meeting the defendant. Around 2011 to 2014, we was like very close friends. 2014 was around the time we decided to hook up for the very first time. 6 weeks later, after that, I had found out I was pregnant. Right there and then, I had told the defendant, like, he could be a possible, like, the father or not. He kind of like...
Were you all in an exclusive relationship at that time?
No, we were, like, friends. And then, like, 2014, we, like, hooked up for the first time. And then that's when
you were still hooking up with other people?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
No. When I had...
Why not?
When I was pregnant, when I found out...
No, before getting pregnant. Were you seeing other people?
Oh, yes.
At the same time you were seeing him?
Yes.
Okay. That was a little tough to answer for you. All right, y'all. Test might have been the paternity test. Sounds like it was absolutely a good choice, requesting that. All right, and from there, 14, you all had a child, or 15, you all had a child together?
Yeah, she was born in 2015.
All right, and how did things go?
During her pregnancy, he was there, but, you know, kept his distance because, you know, it's a question mark. Towards the end of the pregnancy, I ended up getting upset with the defendant. He ended up going away, doing some time. So I decided, you know, by him being a possible of the father, you know, let him at least be in the child's life. So I decided to, you know, we did like the letters and stuff and come back around. The relationship like grew, and March 2016, we became more in a relationship. After that, when he came home, pretty much everything was groovy.
What year was that?
2017, September.
Okay.
When he came home, everything was fine. He was a great father. I was supposed to be in school for cosmetology. You know, he'd go to work, I go to work, and, you know, we just built from there. Just like any other relationship, the arguments had started, and which led today. We got into an argument.
How often did you all argue?
Every, like, 3 months or so.
Okay.
Over the basics.
All right. That's, depending on the level of the argument, that's not uncommon. All right. And you give me some background on your relationship or whatever you want to tell me.
Like Mrs. Ferguson said, we met around 2011. I was, how do you call it? I was interested, but we were more friends all the way up until 2014. The incident. We crossed that line. The child was brought into the picture. Now, she did tell me in the beginning, because I was there, when she called me, can you come pick me up from the doctor? The doctor was loud enough, like, hey, you're 6 weeks pregnant. She looked at me, I looked at her, we both looked at the doctor. So then, from that moment, I was like, well, you know, I know you have a boyfriend, and we're gonna go from here, so if he's not gonna be there, I know what we did, so I'll be there. He ain't been nowhere to be found. So now, here's the crazy part. The whole time she was pregnant, I was there. Anything she needed, I was there. I built the baby bed while the woman I was trying to see at the moment was sitting outside. So then, things started going bad when our child came into the picture. And when I say that, I didn't go to jail until June 11th of 2015. My child was born June 6th, 2015. I didn't even get called. I didn't even get a she's here, she's been born, come to the hospital, nothing. So that was my first, like she said, I became a little distanced after that, but at the same time, I did some stuff that took me away, so I owned up to that. But like she said, when I came home, I did everything I was supposed to do as a man. I took care of I took care of my child, because I've never called her another man's child. That's my child, whether you tell me different or not today. And we would bicker about little things like relationships used to be. What's this on Facebook? Why are you liking this? And things like that.
From everything she said, you all had a good relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You were a good guy, in my opinion, if I am to believe what she says and you say.
Yeah, like I did what and at the end, it wasn't towards the end that we started having more of our problems that was within the home.
Of what? The relationship, but when did it start? When did the end begin?
When we started caring for other people inside of our home. Like, we would have certain friends or family members that we would call ourselves helping to, you know, we can give y'all 30 days. After that, you know, you got to help yourself. It came to a point where she moved in one of her nieces that's the same age as us, you feel me? So she's an adult, okay? At the end of the day, this is your home, because your name is on the lease. Her, Antoinette's name is on the lease. You feel? I stay here, but I don't have my name on this lease, so I can't tell who to come in and come out of this house besides our child. It got to the point where we were arguing about me having to tell your family member they have to leave. I never told them they can come here to stay in the first place, so why should I have to tell them they had to leave? You feel me? So that put a lot of pressure on me. Then it went to I got laid off, not going to work, to now it's looking like I'm just sitting around the house all day doing nothing. No, I can go out the house and entrepreneur, call one of my friends, hey, you need to move some stuff. Go to jail until June 11th of 2015. My child was born June 6th, 2015. I didn't even get called. I didn't even get a she's here, she's been born, come to the hospital, nothing.
Defendant Hillman Carr petitioned the court for a paternity test because he has always known that he may not be the father of the plaintiff's daughter, and he's ready to learn the truth once and for all.
Let's get back to the child, and that is, whose name is on the birth certificate?
So far, just mine, Your Honor.
Pardon? No man's name?
No.
No father's name is listed? Why not?
I wanted the paternity test done first.
Pardon me?
I wanted the paternity test done.
Before you put a father's name on there? And
correct.
That's 7 years ago, and the child, whose last name? The child has your last name? Okay. And you haven't sought a paternity test in 7 years?
Test,
why?
Like, we don't want to do it because we don't want to find out.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why, are you scared?
No,
that it might not be yours? You scared of your heart? I can understand that if so.
That's not what it was at first. At first, like when I came home, Your Honor, I wanted to do better for myself, my life, and that little girl changed a lot inside of me that I've been the best man I could say I've been ever. And I made her agree with her, even knowingly, like you said. I knowingly went into this agreement because I thought I'd love this woman for the rest of my life.
That's what I'm saying. I think you were scared to see it because you didn't want any different
and I didn't want to know. And I told her,
emotion.
like, we came to an agreement, like, we would, the arguments. We would argue, but we made an agreement, stupid agreement. We made an agreement. We would never throw that as a rebuttal towards each other.
I'm just wondering, how long did you all intend to keep that agreement? When the child was 16, are you still going to be, well, we can't put nothing on your birth certificate because at 16 the child will have seen their birth certificate. So at what point were you going to put something on the child's birth certificate? At what point? Had y'all thought about that? Foresaw it? What?
We were just in the process of it when we were signing her up in Rockford, which leads to the next reason why we're here. The agreement is off and been taken this far because of the car. So once we get to
let's get to the car. By the way, you're doing a good job. You know what bothers me so much? It may not be occurring right now at home, but many people it is occurring at home. They're attributing a stereotype to you. Went to prison, your hair is, you know, kind of inner city, if you will, and scary to some people.
Yes, sir.
Nonetheless, everything you all have said about each other is just what a man should be to their child and to their woman. And so I just want to compliment you on that. and tell this country, no, it doesn't matter how a person looks. That doesn't define them. You don't know. You see me off the bench, you're going to see a fly Judge Mathis. You're going to see jewelry. You're going to see sweatsuits. You're going to see hoodies. You're going to see all of that. And they're going to say, who is that that's looking so fly? He looked like he from Detroit. He got on the this, the that. They're going to say, that's Judge Mathis. Oh, Judge Mathis is flying and so, but they see me here, and I'm dignified. The professional class has a perception of what I should be like. You should not look like the inner city people. You should not look like you're in the hood. You're no longer in the hood. You're out of the hood. Look like us. Wear a blue suit every day with a red tie. That way you'll really look like you're a professional because you look like an inner city hood. But I like to do that to surprise them, to almost surprise and knock that stereotype and show them, by the way, I'm a little more educated than you. So that professional stuff you're talking about. So once again, compliments, and that's what I always take an opportunity to show our country that things are different than they might otherwise think. All right. Tell me what happened with this car.
So the night of the accident, we had gotten into an argument. I pretty much was like, wanted him out the house, putting him out. Next thing you know, we had got into like a physical altercation. During that time, he did have a right there to go whatever he needed to, but during that altercation, when me and him was like, you know, like fighting or whatever, he ended up grabbing my keys. Next thing you know, the police is at my door letting me know my car was in a car accident and was at a total loss.
Okay, and what have you all discussed about him paying for it?
We've been like talking about it, but never like really wrote like down nothing.
Where had he gone?
He took flight in it from the argument.
Okay, so you wouldn't know. You scared of your heart? I can understand that if so.
That's not what it was at first. At first, like when I came home, Your Honor, I wanted to do better for myself, my life, and that little girl changed the light inside of me that I've been the best man I could say I've been ever.
Defendant Hillman Carr petitioned the court for a paternity test because he has always known that he may not be the father of the plaintiff's daughter, and he's ready to learn the truth once and for all.
Sir, what do you say to the car?
The incident or how it happened?
Yeah, you can tell me how it happened.
Yes, the night of December 2nd going into December 3rd. Oh, that was a peachy day. It was, once again, we were all at the house doing us, and how did we got to arguing about simple things like, why haven't you taken out the trash, and why haven't you done this, and my rebuttal, well, why haven't you done that? It led to, at one point, we almost got, I ain't even gonna say almost, we got physical. When I say physical, I was in a headlock in the front yard at 2 o'clock.
Move on, don't hurt yourself too
much. Well, no, I'm not hurt.
Compliments I've given.
I called my friend who isn't even supposed to be in this apartment.
And you ran, that's what I like to hear.
I
you
called
got
my
away.
friend.
You didn't fight,
Right.
Even if you did, you got away.
I called my friend knowing that he's not even supposed to be in this apartment complex. So I'm like, hey man, me and her didn't get into it, but I'm headed this time, like, come get me and my stuff and let's go. She's in the background. Oh, he doesn't even have to come get it. Like, I'll help you take your stuff now. So she was literally helping me put my stuff in the car. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? You're already banned from out here. And then once again, we're making enough noise that once the police show up, they're gonna recognize him automatically. Like, you're not even supposed to be here, so why are you here? So I had to get him back out of that area of trouble he didn't even need on my behalf. So then we got all of my stuff into the car, but in the midst of all that going on, we were still taking jabs at each other, which we shouldn't have did. So before it escalated further into another physical jab, like she said, I picked up the keys and I got into the car to go take my stuff to storage. She knew where I was going. She was going to go with me. Thank God she didn't, because I crashed out of that going on, but...
How?
So while I was driving down the highway going down Route 20, I was in the left-hand lane, and, you know, some truckers can get over to the left if they're passing, but they have to get back over immediately. Well, not immediately, but when he's safe. So as I'm coming behind the truck, you feel me, I see he's going slow enough in the right-hand lane already that I don't have to worry about it. So I go around him. He picked up speed this morning and came right back around me. So I was like, okay, that's cool. He was going. He gets to a car that's in the right-hand lane as well as me. As I was coming up, he wasn't watching his blind spot, and he started merging over to the right. So instead of me letting him hit me, I swerved over to the right into the ditch. I didn't hit anyone else or anything but myself. I got out of the car, looked at the damage, realized what was finna come next on top of the argument I had literally just got through, because now I have to explain
that physical,
that you're angry with me, I'm angry at you, and I just crashed your car. Like, there's no way for me to win here. So when I just took off walking.
Did you call the police at any point?
I notified them. Yeah, I was so angry and still aware of what was going on. I left a small note for the officers that said, here's my number. I'll be right here when you come find me.
Really?
Behold,
I wouldn't even done that if I'd have had your record and, you know, alleged to have been in domestic violence. Oh, no. Go ahead. You're better than me on that. Go ahead. So you left your number and everything.
I called. I proceeded to call my lifeline, which would be my mom. My mom was like, oh, well, they're looking for you like you were looking for me. I was like, well, I'm finna pass out. I hit the ground. Next thing you know, I was in the hospital. I was in Sherman Hospital, and it looked like Mike Tyson had punched me in the eye because it was closed. I'm talking about this was closed, ribs was bruised and stuff. And
ma'am, did you help him pack?
No, because his stuff was already like previous packed from the last fight.
Where?
His stuff was like everywhere, like in the living room, my room.
No, in the car. You didn't take one thing to the car?
Mm-mm.
You didn't even go out to the car at all?
Well, we was like going back and forth, like outside, like arguing. And then the whole time he was putting his stuff in his friend's car, not my car.
Okay, so he put all his things in his friend's car.
Yeah, he was
What
like,
were you doing?
Pretty much arguing with him, talking, like, get out, hurry up, move fast enough.
And he never put anything in the car that he took?
Afterwards, he did.
Afterwards, as in when?
Like, pretty much, like, after, like, the little like, the physical fight we had, like, the third time, like, round, I guess I thought he was putting the stuff in his friend's car.
What was the third time? I know about one time around where you say he snatched the keys out of your hand. He's saying you knew and permitted him because you even helped pack the car. But now you're telling me his things were packed into his friend's car and that they weren't packed in your car at all. Is that what you're saying?
No. The first time he was going to his friend's car. But like he said, his friend was not allowed in that complex. So the second time, he kept like going back and forth to the car.
Going back and forth to whose car?
His friend's car, the first time. The second time, he was putting his stuff in my car. And then I guess like during like the last like little altercation or whatever, I had my keys. And
so when he started moving it into the other guy's car, he was the one doing it? Moving his things in?
Yes.
So he was moving something. What is the argument? You're arguing at him or something? You continue to yell at him? Why?
Because I wanted him to move out. Like, and then on top of that, we was like drinking that night, so.
He must not have been drinking as much because he was able to load the car and get out and try to get away from the argument, and you continue to pursue the argument. Everything you all have said about each other is just what a man should be to their child and to their woman, and so I just want to compliment you on that.
Defendant Hillman Carr petitioned the court for a paternity test because he has always known that he may not be the father of the plaintiff's daughter, and he's ready to learn the truth once and for all.
And the iPhone you're countersuing for, sir?
It's an old iPhone. It's an iPhone 6. I'm gonna be honest, I care less about it, but yes, it was given to her as a, we're gonna call it a present loan. You know, you ever get somebody something and then you tell them I want it back? Now
no.
There you go.
No.
I'm be honest with you. They kept asking.
I might have done that with an If I had an engagement that broke off and it cost a lot of money, that ring, I would ask for it back.
But
the law doesn't allow you
back.
to.
That's what I was saying.
The law doesn't allow you to ask for anything back. That was a gift. All right, and he totaled the car, but what he's saying now, I would interpret that he wasn't negligent. He was the victim of a third-party crime. The person who was negligent by going into his lane, and he goes into the ditch because of that. That's what it sounds like to me. The other person was negligent. And I'm so sorry that we had to go through all of this, but at least it showed that a man would take care of a child, inner city guy who folks claim many instances, many men don't take care of their children. Not only were you willing to take care of your children, unfortunately, you were taking care of a child that's not yours. Sorry about that, sir. Zero chance you're the father. But I know you're strong enough after all you've been through in your life to be able to deal with it emotionally. All right, good luck to you and have a good day. Both your claims are dismissed.